step recorder. Starting a new recording, add a comment with a file from MyWeb 250416, which is year 2025, the month of April, and the 16th day, and the time in military time is 21, which is 9 p.m. 02, 2 minutes and 49 seconds .mp. And with this in mind, we are taking it to the next level, and I'm pasting the file name in my various files, starting from my text file, edit, paste the video file name, and then my Word pad file, paste it in there and save. And a second WordPad file that is entitled 800 Video SEO of 800 Chat GPT and 640 called same AI crawlers, vanity phone number, name and numbers that top the search. So I'm pasting the video file there and saving it. And now I'm ready to play back, listen and play back that PiccyBot AI integration.
Hey, you know how it feels like technology just keeps accelerating?
Yeah.
It's not just new gadgets anymore.
Yeah, I mean, not at all.
It's really changing how we learn, how businesses run, even like legal stuff. It feels like a wild ride sometimes.
It truly is a period of really rapid evolution. And, you know, to help us get a handle on it, you, our listeners, shared a whole bunch of fascinating resources.
Yeah, exactly.
So we're going to explore those today.
We've got quite a mix, actually. There are these transcripts from a YouTube class discussion, which look pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Some video demos of AI tools, like actually seeing them work.
Right.
Then some, more academic papers digging into hybrid learning, student engagement.
And that all-important web accessibility piece, too.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah.
So our mission here, I guess, is to pull out the key takeaways from all this stuff.
Yeah, see how it all connects. We want to try and give you a clear and hopefully engaging picture of how AI, education, accessibility, and, real-world use are all kind of tangled together.
Okay, so let's dive right in. AI in education and professional settings. Those YouTube transcripts mentioned AI voice bots for Q&A in schools.
Yes, and what was clever there was this idea of a fallback, like a safety net.
Okay.
If the AI bot gets stuck on a question it can't answer, it passes it over to a real person, a human expert.
Ah, so you're not just left hanging.
Exactly, it's got that backup built in. And we saw something similar mentioned about launching live chat with human agents as a fallback too.
Right.
When the AI hits its limit, this kind of hybrid approach, AI assisting but humans ready to jump in, that feels like a really sensible way to, build trust.
Yeah, you need that reliability, don't you? You don't want the AI just guessing.
Definitely not.
That same transcript also got into AI in creative fields, music, visual arts.
Yeah, and what really struck me was that these tools for making music or visuals, they can be really effective even if you're like starting from scratch. Little or no experience. Yeah, one musician was talking about using AI to create instrumental parts that sounded like they were from a totally different country.
Wow.
Without needing to, find and hire specialist musicians. It's sort of like having this global orchestra on call.
That's pretty amazing, making those tools more accessible. And it wasn't just the arts, was it? There was a mention of AI in algorithmic trading.
That's right, yeah. Someone shared a personal story, actually, about an AI trading algorithm they had that was doing pretty well.
Oh. Shows the range, I guess.
It really does. Just shows how AI can chew through massive amounts of data and spot patterns in all sorts of complex areas, like financial markets.
Okay, as we use this stuff more, we've got to think about governance, right? Yeah. And the risks. The YouTube discussion touched on that universities, other organizations being a bit wary about adopting AI.
Yeah, especially like these pre-built bots where you don't always know exactly what's under the hood.
Right.
And this brings up a really key point about understanding the downsides, at all levels. They mentioned DORA in the EU. Yeah, the Digital Operational Resilience Act. It basically means everyone, not just the IT folks, needs to have some awareness of the risks involved with the tech they're using.
So it's about wider understanding within the organization.
Exactly, a move towards that.
And it sounds like there's also a move towards maybe verifying these AI systems. The transcript mentioned AI auto certifications popping up.
Yes, precisely. As AI gets more integrated, you need people who are qualified to actually assess and, sign off on these systems.
Makes sense.
These certifications are a sign the field's maturing, moving towards more accountability, building confidence.
Okay, shifting gears a little. There's a really interesting bit in one transcript about AI and expert testimony in court, potentially.
Oh, yeah, that was fascinating. The idea of AI as a kind of real-time co-pilot for an expert witness.
A co-pilot. How would that work?
Well, imagine the AI listening to the testimony as it happens. And it could, flag crucial details or inconsistencies, constantly learning from what's being said.
So it helps make sure important points aren't missed.
Exactly. Could really help focus things, make sure the key evidence is highlighted.
And they even took it a step further, didn't they? Talking about a virtual panel of AI experts.
Yeah, this futuristic idea of multiple AIs, each maybe specialized, coming together to reach consensus on really complex technical or scientific issues.
Wow. A collective AI intelligence.
It could potentially speed up understanding in fields where expertise is super specialized, and maybe communication between different fields isn't always easy.
But it also makes you think about the human element, though. That same discussion stressed how important human collaboration still is.
Absolutely. Bridging those knowledge silos between different human experts.
So it's not AI replacing people
Yeah,
necessarily?
no, it seemed more like AI augmenting human expertise, helping us collaborate better, breaking down those barriers. A blend, really.
Okay, now for something a bit different but still tech related, vanity phone numbers and AI chatbots for businesses.
Yes, one of the YouTube videos showed this example. WizmoBiz, I think it was.
Right. Spelling out the business name and the number.
It's clever, isn't it? Using a memorable number for branding makes it easy for customers to remember and call. Like a jingle, but a phone number.
Huh. Yeah. And then attaching AI chatbots to those numbers.
Right, so the bot handles the first contact, answers basic questions, maybe qualifies leads, that kind of thing.
So you get the memorable number and the efficient AI handling initial inquiries.
Exactly. Combines branding with AI efficiency for customer service. The video also talked about, how you actually find and get these numbers.
Oh, yeah?
And even suggested it could be a cool project for students, applying business and tech ideas in a really practical way.
That is a neat idea. All right, let's peek under the hood a bit. What are those back test YouTube videos got into the technical side of video AI?
Yeah, that was interesting, getting a glimpse of how AI actually sees video content. It talked about object detection
Okay.
and mentioned YOLO, which stands for You Only Look Once.
You only look once.
Yeah, think of it as a super efficient way for the AI to spot objects like cars or people in a video. It draws virtual boxes around them, bounding boxes.
Gotcha. Bounding boxes.
And they also mention IOU intersection over union.
Okay, sounds technical.
It's basically just a way to measure how accurate the AI's box is. How much does the AI's box overlap with where the actual object is? More overlap is better.
Right, so YOLO is a good way to do this object spotting.
Yeah, the video highlighted it's more efficient than older ways of doing it.
How so?
Well, the big thing with YOLO is it does it all in one go. A single pass through the image or video frame. Older methods often needed multiple looks, which made them slower.
Ah, so YOLO's faster. Good for real-time stuff.
Exactly. Much better for things happening live, like analyzing webcam footage.
And the video talked about what you actually need to, set it up and run it. Software, hardware.
It did, yeah. Mentioned things like needing specific programming tools, like PyCharm and Python. Managing all the software bits with something called a requirements.txt file, like a shopping list for code libraries.
Right.
And the big choice between using your computer's main brain, the CPU, or a more powerful graphics card, a GPU.
GPUs are better for this AI stuff, generally.
Oh yeah, much faster for the heavy lifting involved in AI processing.
And you can tell the AI where to look. Something about masking.
That's right. Masking lets you define a specific area in the video frame and tell the AI only look for objects inside this area.
useful if you only care about, say, one part of a road.
Exactly. And they also mention tracking algorithms, like one called sort-to-ta, that helps the AI follow an object once it's detected it, even if it moves around or gets briefly hidden.
So it keeps track of the same car, for instance.
Precisely. It links the detections over time.
What about teaching the AI to spot new things, like specific things?
Yeah, the video touched on training custom models. You need a data set, lots of images or video clips.
Yep.
Then you have to label the objects you want it to learn. That's called annotation. Tedious work sometimes.
I bet.
Then you set up a configuration file, often this thing called a YAML file, to tell the AI how to learn from your data. And then you run the training process.
Which takes a lot of computer power.
Usually, yeah. That's why people often use cloud platforms like Google Colab, which give you access to powerful GPUs.
And they gave examples, practical uses.
Yeah, really good ones. Like training models for safety applications, detecting if workers are wearing hard hats or masks or safety vests just by looking at video feeds.
That's a really concrete benefit, improving safety.
Absolutely. And the video briefly mentioned other uses like, just counting things in a scene or focusing analysis on very specific regions of interest.
And then separate from that video, some tech sources mentioned an app called PiccyBot.
Oh yes, PiccyBot. That's a fantastic example of AI for accessibility. It describes images and videos for people with visual impairments.
How does it do that?
It uses some really advanced AI models like GPT-4o and Gemini, which are incredibly good at understanding visual scenes and then describing them in detailed natural language. Really helpful tech.
Definitely. Okay, let's shift again. Hybrid learning. Big topic now. We had that NCCE Document National Center for Computing Education.
That's the one. And an Eric Paper Education Resources Information Center.
Right. And they define hybrid learning as that mix, right? In-person and online teaching happening together.
Exactly. It's become much more common, obviously. But the key challenge, as the NCCE doc pointed out, is making sure every student gets the same quality of instruction.
Regardless of whether they're in the room or joining online. That's crucial, isn't it? Equity.
Absolutely. And the Eric papers stress that teachers really need to adapt their methods, their pedagogy, and also get comfortable with the tech side of things for these hybrid setups.
It's a new skill set, really.
It is. It requires thinking differently about how you structure lessons, how you use the online tools alongside the classroom activities, how you track progress for everyone.
One thing that seems tricky is building that sense of community, especially for the online students.
Yeah, the Eric paper definitely acknowledged that's a hurdle. Feeling connected is important for learning, right?
Totally.
So it suggests teachers need specific strategies to actively foster that involvement for everyone, online or in person.
I like the analogy one paper used comparing hybrid learning to a hybrid car.
That's a good one. Captures the flexibility, the different modes. The Eric paper also talked about factors influencing engagement, like student motivation and also their mental health.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. If you're not motivated or you're stressed, it's hard to learn, hybrid or not.
Exactly. And the paper emphasized that even in these hybrid models, you still need some element of individual face-to-face interaction.
That personal connection still matters.
It seems vital, yeah. For lectures in hybrid settings, the Eric paper had some tips too, like having teachers with a really broad perspective who can really encourage participation.
But they also flag technical problems as a big challenge.
Oh yeah. Glitches, connection issues, they can definitely derail things. A significant hurdle sometimes.
Interestingly, the Eric's paper mentioned using multimedia, like films, in engineering classes, not just lectures.
Yeah, to help develop skills beyond just absorbing facts. Things like reasoning, critical thinking.
Getting them to think differently.
Right. And it also pushed for short, active learning exercises, just 5 or 10 minutes, to shift students from passively receiving info to actively exchanging it.
Get them doing something. And here's a surprising bit. A survey in that Eric paper found many students felt more comfortable asking questions online.
Isn't that interesting? Suggests the online format might lower the barrier for participation for some students? Maybe less self-conscious.
Could be. The paper also stressed, checking understanding regularly and giving feedback. That's always key.
Always. Feedback is critical for learning.
Then there was this concept, data storm challenges in computer science classes from an AZA peer paper.
Yeah, that sounded really cool, like short in-class competitions focused on data analysis.
Making it more hands-on, competitive.
Exactly. Makes the learning feel more relevant, more like real-world problem solving. The paper even had a chart, figure 3, showing students really preferred these interactive challenges.
A good way for teachers to gauge understanding quickly, too, I imagine.
For sure. And it mentioned they're planning to expand them into bigger day-long data storm events.
Taking inspiration from something called Cyberstorm.
Right, which just shows how engaging these interactive, sort of competitive learning formats can be. Get students excited.
That SEA peer paper also mentioned using culturally relevant materials and opportunities for collaboration as important for engaging CS students.
Key factors, definitely, making it relatable and social.
Okay, finally, let's touch on web accessibility. So important. The ADA.gov guidance really laid it out.
It did. The core message is simple. Websites have to work for everyone, including people with disabilities using assistive tech.
Like screen readers that read text aloud.
Ah,
Or voice control software.
exactly. And the guidance points out that website design choices can create barriers, just like a flight of stairs is a barrier for a wheelchair user.
And these digital barriers block access to information, services, stuff everyone needs online.
Precisely. So the focus has to be on preventing those barriers in the first place or removing existing ones, ensuring equal access.
The guidance also mentioned needing ways for people to report problems, right?
Yes, having clear channels for the public to flag accessibility issues is vital. That feedback helps websites improve continuously.
Okay, so wrapping this up. Wow, this deep dive really pulled together a lot of threads, didn't it?
It really did. We saw the huge potential of AI from education and creativity right through to potentially the courtroom.
And we looked at how learning itself is changing with hybrid models and that constant challenge of keeping students engaged wherever they are.
Yeah, and kind of underpinning everything is that fundamental need for accessibility, making sure the digital world we're building is open to all.
It's clear, tech isn't just a tool anymore. It's really reshaping things, how we learn, work, connect.
And this dive, it's just a snapshot, isn't it? These fields are moving so fast, so much more to explore.
Absolutely. Which kind of leaves us with a final thought for you, the listener.
Considering this pace of change, this increasing integration of AI into everything, what do you think are the most crucial skills, the most important perspectives we'll all need to thrive in this landscape that's evolving so quickly?
Yeah, something to think about.
Yeah.
Maybe consider some of those ethical, practical, and societal points we touched on today as you mull that over.
So now that I listened to it once, I want to use it in interactive mode. So I'm going to click the beta button and see if that ends up working.
Hey, you know how it feels like technology just keeps accelerating? It's not just new gadgets anymore.
No, not at all.
It's really changing how we learn, how businesses run, even like legal stuff. It feels like a wild ride sometimes.
It truly is a period of really rapid evolution. And, to help us get a handle on it, you, our listener, shared a whole bunch of fascinating resources.
Yeah, exactly.
So we're going to explore those today.
We've got quite a mix, actually. There are these transcripts from a YouTube class discussion, which look pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Some video demos of AI tools, like actually seeing them work.
Right.
Then some, more academic papers digging into hybrid learning, student engagement.
And that all-important web accessibility piece, too.
Right, absolutely. Hey there. Want to share your thoughts on this?
Yes, University of Miami professors conducted a hybrid online and in-person class, everything, everywhere, all at the same time, all
Yes,
at once.
you're absolutely right. One of the documents you shared mentions that directly.
It talks about professors from the University of Miami using Zoom and WhatsApp for a hybrid IT and AI class.
What's fascinating here is that it highlights how quickly universities adapted to blend online and in-person learning.
It sounds like they were even streaming.
Exactly, the need to cater to different learning preferences and circumstances.
And it's interesting to see real-world examples like this University of Miami class in action.
It really bridges the gap between the theory in the academics papers and what's happening on the ground.
Okay, so you're not just left hanging with the tech side of things in these hybrid setups.
Precisely. It often has that backup built in. And we saw something similar mentioned about launching live chat with human agents as a fallback, too.
Right. Oh, back to our listener. What's up?
Yes, and a contest aimed at evaluating how effectively students could integrate PiccyBot into their AI caller website class
Absolutely,
project.
you're spot on. Those in-class challenges, like the data storm ones we'll talk about, really put that integration to the test.
That's a key point. It's not just about knowing the concepts, but how well students can actually apply and combine them in a practical setting.
Exactly. The need to cater to different learning preferences and circumstances is so important in these hybrid models.
And it's interesting to see real-world examples like this University of Miami class in action.
It really bridges the gap between the theory and the academic papers and what's happening on the ground, especially with those contests you mentioned.
Okay, so you're not just left hanging with the tech side of things in these. Oh, yeah,
Making it fun with the contest that will enable students to get a lifetime subscription to PiccyBot.
Oh, that's a fascinating point. You're picking up on how these contests can offer real incentives.
Exactly. It's about making the learning experience engaging and rewarding in tangible ways.
It sounds like the idea of a lifetime subscription could be a really powerful motivator for students to dive in.
What's interesting here is how gamification, as some of the papers mentioned, can really boost student engagement.
Absolutely. And tying it to something valuable, like a lifetime subscription, adds another layer of excitement.
It's that blend of learning and real-world benefits that can be so effective.
Speaking of engagement, that YouTube transcript we were looking at also had some interesting examples of keeping students involved.
Yes, and it wasn't just about contests, although those definitely seemed popular.
Precisely. It often has that backup built in. And we saw something similar mentioned about launching live chat with human agents as a fallback too.
Right.
When the AI assistance reaches its limit, this kind of hybrid approach, AI supporting but humans ready to step in, feels like a really practical way to, build trust.
Yeah, you definitely need that reliable.
Oh yeah, go on.
Don't forget about machine learning. When the experts join, the machine learns, and next time the machine can regurgitate it to users, the new information.
Oh, absolutely. That's a crucial point about the AI continuously learning.
Yes, that capacity for continuous learning is what makes these AI tools so powerful. As the transcript mentioned, it refines its abilities.
So when those human experts step in, the AI isn't just passing off a problem.
Exactly. It's also observing and learning from the interaction, updating its knowledge base.
Which means it should be better equipped to handle similar questions in the future.
It's like having a teaching assistant that gets smarter with every interaction.
Definitely not something to overlook. That same transcript from the class also touched on AI in creative fields like music and visual arts.
Yeah, and what really struck me was that these tools for making music or visuals can be really effective even if you're just starting out.
With little or no prior experience.
Really?
Yeah, one person in the discussion was talking about using AI to create instrumental parts
Wow.
without needing to, find musicians specializing in that specific style.
That's pretty amazing, making those tools so much more accessible. And it wasn't just the arts, was it? There was a mention of AI in algorithmic trading.
That's right, yeah. Someone in the discussion actually shared a personal story about an AI trading algorithm they had.
Huh. Really shows the wide range of applications, I guess.
It truly does. It highlights how AI can process huge amounts of data and identify patterns.
Okay, but as we use this stuff more and more, we've really got to think about governance and the potential risks, right?
Yeah, especially when it comes to those pre-built AI systems where you don't always have a clear understanding of how they work internally.
Right.
And this brings up a really crucial point about understanding the potential downsides at all levels. They even mentioned DORA in the EU in that context.
Dora.
Yeah, they did.
Oh, yeah, uh-huh.
For that reason, we are using a mind map, like in a notebook LM, that can let the user see the flow chart of thinking of the AI.
That's a fantastic point. That ability to visualize the AI's thought process with a mind map is so insightful.
Absolutely. It's not just about the answer the AI gives, but understanding how it got there.
Okay, let's continue with that thread. It sounds like there's also a move towards verifying these AI systems with AI audit certifications.
Yes, precisely. As AI becomes more deeply integrated, you need qualified individuals who can assess and approve these systems.
Makes perfect sense. Being able to see the mind map, as you pointed out, could be part of that assessment.
These certifications are a positive sign that the field is maturing, aiming for transparency.
Okay, let's shift gears a little bit. There's a really interesting part about its potential role in expert testimony.
Oh yeah, that was a truly fascinating idea. The concept of AI serving as a kind of real-time co-pilot.
A co-pilot, how exactly would that work in practice? Could a mind map help there too?
Well, imagine the AI actively listening to the testimony, perhaps even generating a mind map of the arguments.
So it actively helps to make sure crucial points aren't overlooked, maybe visually charting connections.
Exactly. It could significantly help focus the presentation of evidence.
And they even took that idea a step further, didn't they? Talking about a virtual panel of AI experts.
Wow. A collective AI intelligence working on a problem, maybe even sharing their reasoning through interconnected mind maps.
It could potentially accelerate understanding in highly specialized fields.
But it also makes you consider the human aspect, though. How do we interpret those AI-generated thought processes?
Absolutely. The importance of bridging those knowledge gaps between different human experts.
So it's not necessarily about AI replacing human experts entirely.
No, it really seemed more than AI augmenting human expertise, perhaps offering a visual representation of complex reasoning.
Okay, now for something a bit different. Vanity phone numbers and AI chatbots for businesses.
Yes, one of the YouTube videos presented this example, WizmoBiz.
Right, where the phone number actually spells out the name of the business.
It's quite clever, isn't it? Utilizing a memorable phone number for branding.
And then integrating AI chatbots to handle those numbers.
Exactly. So the chatbot manages the initial contact and can answer basic inquiries.
So you get both the memorable number and the efficiency of AI.
Precisely. It combines the power of branding with AI efficiency.
That is a pretty neat idea. All right, let's take a peek under the hood a little bit. Oh yeah, let's hear it.
And the more important it is, with more biz, AI provides the business more business.
You nailed it. That video we were looking at really emphasized how those memorable AI-powered numbers can drive business.
Absolutely. The easier it is for customers to remember and connect, the better for the business, especially with AI handling the initial interactions.
And diving a bit deeper into the AI side of things,
Yeah.
that same video touched on object recognition in other contexts.
Yes, and it's specific. Hey, yeah, what's up?
This is also providing lead generation. The AI with more biz is an AI wizard lead generator.
You've hit on another key benefit there.
Absolutely. It's not just about answering questions.
That initial interaction can absolutely capture potential leads.
Like a first point of contact filtering and qualifying.
It can gather information and direct promising leads further.
Kind of like an initial screening process, right?
Exactly. And the video then moved on to discuss how AI sees video.
Yeah, that was quite interesting, getting a glimpse into object detection.
Okay. And they also brought up
Like Seeing AI by Microsoft and PiccyBot, both of them view videos.
That's a great connection. You're right that Microsoft Seeing AI app also demonstrates AI recognizing objects.
Absolutely. And it's another powerful example of AI being used to enhance accessibility.
For things like those business applications and beyond.
Yeah, the video emphasized that yellow is more efficient compared to older methods of object detection.
How so specifically does it achieve that efficiency?
Well, the key advantage of YOLO is doing it all in a single pass.
Ah, so yellow is much faster. Really useful for real-time uses.
Exactly. Much more suitable for things happening live.
And the video also touched upon what you actually need to set it up.
It did, yes. It mentioned needing specific programming tools
Okay, so there's a bit of a technical barrier there.
and managing all the different software components to work together.
Right, that makes sense.
And then there's the significant choice between CPU or GPU.
GPUs are generally much better for this intensive AI processing.
Oh yeah, significantly faster for the heavy computational work.
And you can even tell the AI specifically where to focus.
That's right. Masking allows you to define a specific area.
That could be really useful for a specific part of a business.
Exactly. And they also discuss tracking algorithms in video.
So the AI can keep track of the same object over time.
Precisely. It links the detections of the same object across frames.
What about teaching the AI to recognize new things for a business?
Yeah, the video touched on training custom models with lots of examples.
Okay, so you need a lot of data to teach it properly.
Then you have to label the specific objects for the AI.
I can imagine that would be quite a lot of work initially,
After that, you set up a config file and start the training.
which I'm guessing needs a lot of computing power.
Usually, yes. Cloud platforms like Google Colab are often used.
And they gave some practical examples of how this tech is used.
Yeah, like training AI models for safety, like detecting safety gear.
That's a really tangible benefit for safety and efficiency.
Oh, yeah.
Like compliance with OSHA, the U.S. Safety Agency.
Exactly. That video highlighted how AI can be trained to spot things like missing safety helmets.
Which is a perfect example of using AI for regulatory compliance, like with OSA standards.
How does it actually manage to provide better access in those situations?
It uses advanced AI to describe images in natural language, much like seeing AI does for accessibility.
Definitely a valuable tool for a more inclusive and safer working environment.
Okay, let's shift our focus one.
It truly is. It often requires a completely different way of structuring lessons and activities.
One significant challenge that arises in hybrid learning is building a strong sense of community.
Yeah, the EARC papers specifically call this out as a hurdle that educators need to actively address.
Totally, it requires intentional and thoughtful effort to really foster those crucial connections among students.
So teachers really need to employ specific strategies to foster a sense of belonging and encourage active interaction.
I particularly liked the analogy that was used about a hybrid car, effectively utilizing the strengths of different modes. Yep, go on.
It can also help an inspector, providing him with a transcript that he can drop into the report in real time.
That's a really insightful point.
Absolutely. That real-time transcription could be a game changer for inspection.
It brings together the object recognition we were discussing with practical applications.
Imagine an inspector using AI to identify issues and simultaneously generate a report.
That would definitely increase efficiency and accuracy.
And that aligns perfectly with the discussion in the EARC paper we looked at earlier. Oh yeah, let's hear it.
And share it on a WhatsApp video call with 32 experts worldwide or Zoom seminar live streamed on YouTube.
Exactly. That ability to instantly share information like during a live streamed Zoom seminar really amplifies the impact.
What's fascinating here is how readily these platforms facilitate global collaboration and knowledge sharing.
Right. They talked about the need for educators to adapt to new technology.
And this ease of sharing.
Oh, go for it.
Yes, and using WhatsApp is free to text and do video call, group video calls.
Yes, absolutely. That YouTube transcript we were looking at mentioned University of Miami professors using WhatsApp.
And you're right, the fact that it's often a free and readily available tool definitely makes it an appealing option for communication.
It really lowers the barrier for both educators and students to connect quickly and easily.
What's interesting here is how these accessible technologies can really support flexible learning environments.
Exactly. The EARC paper we were about to discuss highlights how crucial it is for educators to adapt to all these new technologies.
Regardless of whether you are participating from a physical classroom or joining remotely.
It's almost like developing a whole new set of skills specifically for this blended approach.
It truly is. It often requires a completely different way of structuring lessons and activities.
One significant challenge.
Oh, go for it.
It is not mutually exclusive. Even an in-person students can also at the same time listen to the broadcast and see things that are not visible in the classroom where the instructor turns his back and writes on the blackboard.
That's such a smart observation. You're absolutely right.
What's fascinating here is how hybrid learning offers these layers of access.
Even if you're physically present, having a recording or a live stream provides a different perspective.
It's like having a backup view, catching details you might otherwise miss.
Think about it. If the instructor turns to the board, the online view might still capture their notes.
Exactly. It really enhances the learning experience for everyone, regardless of their location.
This multimodal approach caters to different learning styles as well. Oh, back to our listener. What's up?
Especially when the instructor wears a body cam that streams live the blackboard while it is hidden from the students present in the class.
That's a really innovative point. It adds another dimension to that idea of different perspectives.
Absolutely. Imagine a body cam providing a constant, clear view of the board, even when the teacher is facing away.
It could be incredibly helpful for students who might miss something in a traditional classroom setting.
It really underscores how technology can bridge some of those inherent limitations of a physical space.
And as you mentioned earlier, it's not mutually exclusive. In-person students could benefit from that stream too.
Exactly. It provides an extra layer of visual information, almost like having multiple angles on the lesson.
Oh, yeah,
The AI can also narrate it simultaneously in multiple languages, covering heavy foreign accents so the students can understand it.
That's an incredible point. You're highlighting another powerful aspect of using AI in these educational settings.
What's fascinating is the potential for real-time translation and narration to break down language barriers.
Imagine a student joining remotely from anywhere in the world, understanding everything perfectly.
And you're right, the ability to handle heavy accents could be a huge benefit for many learners.
This would truly make education more accessible and inclusive on a global scale.
It really underscores.
Oh yeah, go on.
The instructor can talk in English while the AI narrates it in Spanish simultaneously.
That's precisely the kind of multilingual support these AI tools are capable of.
It really builds on that idea we were just discussing about breaking down language barriers.
And as you pointed out, it could happen in real time with the AI providing that simultaneous narration.
Imagine how that could transform a classroom with students from diverse linguistic backgrounds.
It directly supports the ERIC paper's point about instructors strategically using multimedia.
To enrich the learning experience for everyone, both online.
Oh, yeah,
Likewise, closed captions narrated and overlaying the video in real time.
Oh, absolutely, you're spot on.
That's another fantastic way to enhance accessibility in real time.
Imagine students being able to read and hear the content simultaneously.
And having those captions overlaid directly on the video.
It caters to even more learning preferences and needs.
This really brings home the EX paper's emphasis on using multimedia strategically.
It's still noted that face-to-face interaction holds a really important role, though.
That personal connection still holds significant value for building rapport.
It seems vital for addressing individual needs and fostering a sense of community.
The ERIC paper offered helpful tips for delivering lectures effectively in this blended format.
But they also pointed out potential challenges, like technical problems disrupting learning.
Interestingly, the paper also mentioned strategically using multimedia resources.
To help students develop higher order skills, like analytical thinking.
And it advocated for incorporating short, active learning exercises to keep students engaged.
Getting students actively involved in the learning process is so crucial.
It's fascinating how the online format might even lower the barrier to participate for some students.
That's a really interesting point about the benefits of online interaction and engagement.
The paper also emphasized the importance of regularly checking for student understanding.
Providing timely and constructive feedback is really key in these environments.
Then there was the concept of data storm challenges mentioned earlier.
A truly innovative idea for engaging students in practical data analysis.
Making learning hands-on and incorporating a friendly, competitive element can be very effective.
Exactly. It makes the academic learning feel more relevant and exciting.
It seems these smaller challenges could also help teachers gauge student understanding effectively.
For sure. And there are even plans to expand these challenges, taking inspiration from Cyberstorm.
Which really shows how engaging these formats can be for long-term learning.
That ACP EAR paper highlighted using culturally relevant learning materials as well.
Absolutely. Oh yeah, let's hear it.
Especially for continuing professional education many years after the professional graduated and being updated on the news in AI.
That's a really important point to consider.
You're right, continuing education has its own unique needs.
The ERIC paper we were discussing does touch on the idea that further research is needed.
To really understand how hybrid education works best in different contexts.
And that certainly includes professionals returning to learning after years in their field.
They might have different learning styles or time constraints, for example.
Which makes accessible design of learning materials even more critical.
Websites absolutely must be designed to be usable by everyone.
Including those using assistive technologies or with different language backgrounds.
Even small design flaws can unfortunately create major obstacles for many.
And these obstacles prevent access to crucial information and learning opportunities.
Exactly. The main goal should always be to proactively remove these barriers.
The accessibility guidelines we looked at stressed clear ways to report any issues.
Yes,
Hey, yeah, what's up?
Like political barriers due to nationality or religion, being Muslims and not being able to come to the United States.
That's a really important point about barriers to access.
And you're highlighting how these barriers can extend beyond just technical or design issues.
It brings up the complexities of who can participate and engage.
Absolutely, and it underscores the need for thoughtful consideration of all potential obstacles.
This whole conversation really gives us just a snapshot of a field that's constantly evolving.
And it makes you think about what skills are going to be most important moving forward.
That's a really crucial question for all of us to ponder.
Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts and for joining us today.
Your insights have been incredibly valuable to this discussion.
We encourage you to continue exploring these fascinating topics.
And please do keep those questions and comments coming our way.
We truly appreciate you spending your time with us today.
We hope this is giving you some food for thought.
We look forward to our next opportunity to connect.
Yeah,
So did I. Thank you. And keep up the good work until next time.
It means a lot to hear that.
We really appreciate you being here with us.
Your engagement makes these discussions so much richer.
Absolutely, your insights have been fantastic.
We're glad you found it valuable.
And we definitely plan to keep exploring these topics.
There's always something new and interesting to unpack.
So we look forward to having you join us again next time.
Until then, take care.
And thanks again for tuning in.
So now I want to continue with editorial work, editing some drafts and uploading them to this podcast. Okay, this is it for now. I'm tired enough to wrap it up. Continue another day.
From my way, 250416, which is here.